Sure he didn't DM us and we don't know. What's going on, everybody, and welcome to Vinny's Corner. It's Vinny's Spooky Corner, as it is Halloween. Happy Halloween, everybody, and welcome to my guest host, Cove, Dead Man's Cove. What's going on, brother? How are you today?
Pretty good. Gotta get the Halloween theme going, right?
You know that. You know what? I got the mask, but quite frankly, like, let's say, I have my daughter at home and she's a baby. If she wakes up and sees this, she might have a panic attack. So, we'll just keep it to what she's used to, you know? Hold on real quick. Let me just see if our guy Adam's hopping in. You know what? Let's start the intro here and then we can hop right into the show. And hopefully Adam will have joined us by then. We do have a guest, the Adam Lopez, jumping on today, or supposed to be jumping on today. So we'll see what happens. A lot to talk about. Dodgers won, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Purdue as Mitchell looks for an answer.
Ooh, pure, nothing but net.
Garland to the basket, stole the inbound pass. He lays it in.
Basketball down there.
Very high percentage shot for him from that spot. Merrill for three. Tristan Thompson on the floor. That's short. Hard rebound. Ricochets out to Merrill for three again.
For the We Like Sports Show, tune in and see the latest the crew has to say regarding the latest sports topics nationally and locally. Make sure to check out our website as well, WeLikeSportsPC.com. Subscribe on all platforms, including podcast platforms, YouTube, TikTok, and much more. And be sure to follow us on X at We Like Sports PC.
Started with Anderson and Ramirez.
He said, let's go, right? Yeah, I'm sure he wants the game to start, but they won't let it. And rightfully so.
What's going on, guys? And welcome back to Vinny's Spooky Corner and happy Halloween again. As I did just say, it's my man Cove. I always do that. Cove over here, Dead Man's Cove. And we do have our buddy, the Adam Lopez, joining us here in a couple of minutes. He did just check in with me on the chat, FYI, Cove. So before we get started with our specific conversation, because we do want to give Adam a minute to get here, let's just let's talk a little NHL hockey, because I know that's Adam's weak point, So what are your thoughts on this season? There's been a lot going on. Right? We saw the Flames go into the Golden Knights and get just wrecked. They get blanked, stonewalled all night, 5-0. But then, maybe a day or two later, the Kings walked into T-Mobile Arena and just put it to the Golden Knights, So it's not like any team that's looking really strong is just completely dominating, The best team out there will take an L the next day. So what do you think about what's been going on this season?
Well, the best team did take an L the other day because Winnipeg did lose.
That's a fact. That's an absolute fact.
So they went 8-0 before they lost, but...
And so, we've got your regular questions as always. So I'll ask you the questions right now. And then when we get Adam on here, you'll take over the questions and you can ask away. But so the first one, and I think this one's a really interesting because it's big playoff implications. It goes back to last year's playoffs in the Eastern Conference. The Rangers and the Panthers. The Rangers defense has just been tough as nuts. Excuse my language, but it's been, the whole defense has been a stonewall. They're just really not even letting people get to Shesterkin, and I think that's a huge part of it. But what do you think they're going to be able to do? Against a team like Florida, Florida has that depth. So what do you think happens?
Well, the one thing I've noticed the last two seasons with the Panthers is they've been a great regular season team, but they also have been a hell of a playoff team. Back-to-back Stanley Cup Finals, winning one, losing one. And always knocking out those damn Rangers.
You bro, I mean, at this point, Rangers fans got to absolutely hate them, right? I mean,
I don't
I'm
know.
an Islanders fan.
Bruins fans might hate the Panthers a lot more.
Here's the thing, right? If you're not a Florida guy, do you like the Panthers? Like that's kind of how I look at it. They're not really a team. Like I like to watch their goalie. I think Bobrovsky's a great goalie, and I'm really into that position. But as a team, they're definitely not my favorite to watch. Because any team that I enjoy watching, they take the life out of. So
They're almost
for
like
me,
Carolina. Like Carolina is the bunch of jerks. Panthers have been. The Panthers have been a team in the last few years that have been just a bunch of jerks. Their team doesn't need 50 goal scorers. They just need everybody to compete, and everybody competes.
That's kind of an important part here. Oh, here we go. Here's Adam. We're gonna add Adam to the stage. What's up, Adam?
Hey, sorry for the delay, fellas.
No worries, brother. So we were just chopping up a little on the hockey side of things while we were waiting for you to get here.
There you go.
But you know what? Let's just jump right into the baseball side of things now that Adam's here, because I think that we can always come back to hockey. And I just he's a fellow Yankees fan like I am. He's probably got some steam to let off, to say the very least. So let's jump right in now. Cove, I know you got some regular questions, so you guys want to start with the questions? Let's use those to kind of just guide the conversation, I guess, right?
Yeah.
All right, take it away, Cove.
Gotta be 1 second. I gotta pop that back up.
No worries. I try and keep them up, but I'm terrible at that too.
Yeah. Okay, so how do you think the LA Dodgers' 8th title will impact their legacy in the MLB history?
Adam, you want to go first?
Sure. Look, they've been white hot. Realistically, it's been nuts. Obviously, it's something that the Yankees couldn't keep up with in any capacity, not even for barely a cup of coffee. I think the 8th championship is huge. I think it's It's like 3 or 4 championships in the past, 10 years or something like that. That stat could be totally wrong, but I think we're somewhere around there.
Two.
Okay. Still more than the Yankees. So that's my take on that. But I think the Dodgers are going to stay hot. They got Shohei. They got a bunch of great folks. You got Freddie Freeman, who's an absolute machine. That's my take. The legacy is going to be standing there for a while, I feel like, unfortunately, for Yankees fans, unfortunately for Dodgers fans.
This is what I see on this, right? A lot of not Dodgers fans wanted to throw shade at the last championship because it was a COVID championship, 62-game season, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, well, they came out. Since that point, they've been a perennial playoff team, right? Before that, they were a perennial playoff team. Since probably 2013, last 10, 11 years, they've just been, like you said, white hot. For that reason alone, I think this really cements where their legacy stands right now. More importantly, they weren't fully healthy, right? And so I think we could be and I hate to say this as a Yankees fan, but I think we're looking at the start of a dynasty. I could see the next 5 years them winning 3, 4, maybe all of them.
And what was it? Against the Mets, against the Yankees, they had bullpen games that they won.
They had 8 pitchers pitch last night. 8 pitchers. What? I couldn't.
Dave Roberts knows how to manage his team. That's it. Unfortunate.
I don't want to make it about what the Yankees didn't do, because at the end of the day, that's not why they lost. They lost because the better team showed out, period.
Right.
Right. And the Dodgers, listen, Freeman was absolutely out of his mind. Right.
Yeah.
Can't even he came from, what was he on the Braves before this?
Yeah.
Right. And his last 2 World Series games, he hit back-to-back home runs, right? He comes in and just continues, boom, home run. And the Yankees, Aaron Boone, the worst manager in baseball, he just keeps pitching to this man. This guy's on a multi-year home run streak, and you just keep pitching to him. That's ludicrous. But again, I think that now that a guy like Ohtani has had the experience, and you saw he knows how he can perform, obviously, He's only going to get better in the playoffs. Whether they choose to use him in the bullpen, Mookie Betts broke out of that shell where he was having that really terrible time. And now we got the Mookie Betts that was playing on the Red Sox in the playoffs, just smoking hot.
Which Red Sox should have kept him, by the way, which they did not. But
thankfully for the Yankees, I guess. But it's a problem either way, right? We still have to go through the guy to get to the title. But it's to me, they're just they're exactly what they're supposed to be. They spent the money, they put the team together. Roberts as a coach, I know the Francona move didn't work out for them, but it didn't need to. Now we're seeing that. He obviously inspires something in his players where it's not only the stars that do it. Everyone except for Lux partakes. Right. Everyone in that lineup gets involved where they need to, and they make it happen. So, I can't take anything away from them. I'll never be a Dodgers fan. Obviously, I'm a New York guy, but congratulations to them. They were fantastic. Now, with that being said, the Yankees side of things, obviously, there's a lot there to be talked about. I made a post today where Juan Soto essentially said to the reporter last night when he got interviewed that he was wide open. He was not excluding any team. Whoever shows me the money, I'm going to, so the Yankees now, it's not even a guarantee that probably the best player in our lineup we're going to have,
Well, to your point, Vince, real quick. I'm sorry to cut you off real quick. You're right. Number one, congrats to the Dodgers. Number two, let's not take anything away from the Dodgers for what the Yankees lacked. Right. It's like the Dodgers were the better team all the way through. Right. And it's like, we don't be like, well, the Yankees, as Yankees fans, it's like, oh, the Yankees stink. Right. It's like, what we can't take that away from the Dodgers. The Dodgers were a better team. Right. It's what the Dodgers did. It's what the Yankees didn't do as well. Right. So, and your point about Soto, look, he's going to go to the highest bidder. What else is new? Right. The world is run by money. So that's the name of the game. So, it's a bit disheartening. I know Cove was going to say something, Cove. I know you were chatting it up real quick.
Well, it wasn't that. I was just more or less waiting to go to the second question.
Okay. My bad.
Okay, well, before we jump to that, just real quick, here's an interesting stat, right? So the fifth inning, right? Okay, we had that throw in the dirt, right? We had a basic play. We had a basic play where the inning could have been ended by Cole, and he didn't go over first. Most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. But Aaron Judge had no errors this whole season.
Really? Holy cow! I didn't know that stat. Wow. Okay.
Unbelievable. Yeah. So I was listening to Unsportsmanlike Conduct. Is that what it's called? The ESPN show. Canty's my guy, obviously New York Giants legend. And so I'm driving, and I'm like, and they threw the stats out, and I'm like, unbelievable. When I came home, I had to go back and watch all three clips because it was just really what can you say to that? The team is going to do what they have to do. They were playing small ball at that point. They weren't just trying to hit home runs, the Dodgers, but the Yankees defense just fell apart. It wasn't once, it wasn't three times in one inning.
I think bad things beget bad things sometimes, right? It's a slippery slope, right? It's like you mess up once, everyone's, it's even, remember if we're all playing Little League at some point, right? It's like when someone makes an error, then the whole team gets rattled, right? It's like, oh, shoot, this guy messed up. If our best player messes up, I can mess up too. It's like, oh, crap. Then the whole thing just unravels, right? Because look, these folks are humans at the end of the day, right? So it's like, look, they get paid a ton of money, but they're still humans, right? So you see someone mess up, and like Aaron Judge, it's like Aaron Judge is a stud minus the postseason batting, but that's another situation. But he's a stud. He's one of the best arms in MLB. He's an incredibly talented individual, way more talented than I'll ever be. But it's something where it's like you see that happen, and it kind of just shakes you, I imagine, from a psychological concept, or a psychological perspective, right? Mm-hmm. It's like it scares you. You're like, oh my God, if people are making errors, and I'm sure Vince and Cove, this. It's like whether you're playing basketball, football, baseball, whatever it is. If your star player starts messing up, you're like, oh my God, now we're fallible, right? Like no one is perfect.
Yeah. All right. So listen, Cove, let's jump on to question 2. We got our answers here.
So what was the most memorable of the series, basically, between the Dodgers or the Yankees? What sticks out for you for memories of this series?
Well, I'll be quick. I'll be real quick because mine is very short. It's Giancarlo Stanton rounding third trying to come home. I'll never forget. It looked like molasses going uphill in February. It was just terrible. Yeah, I was like, I thought it was a slow-mo replay when I saw it the first time I saw it. I was like, this is a slow-mo replay of Giancarlo Stanton right around third. That will be forever. I mean, there are better moments, of course, but for me, that's one that sticks out.
I'm gonna laugh at this one because it's just like when not Stanton, but when Judge hit the home run, they're like, "Oh, he woke up." It's like, did he really?
They did say that, and I was like, let's not say this too quick. Yeah, Cove, you're right.
Listen, like honestly, it's not even a Yankees moment for me. It's fucking Freeman.
Yeah, Grand Slam.
Game one. We're all on. We were all on a space.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
I was like, I had like the Joe Rogan when someone gets KO'd. I was like, I couldn't even believe it. No.
Yeah, that walk-off grand slam was just. The first and only grand slam to ever been like hit like that. Like,
we put on, and that was a tough fought game. But as soon as that happened, in my mind, it was just indicative of things to come. I was like, man, because Cole did what he did that whole game. Cole played his position to a T for the most part,
right.
Except for covering that one base, right? But as a pitcher, he did what he had to do in both games. But to just see this guy, I'm like, and okay, so when the stats behind that, right? Mookie Betts is 0-5 against Nestor.
Yeah.
Freeman is not. Why would you want Betts to get to Freeman? Why wouldn't you just let Nestor go out and do what he does and gets this guy? Yeah,
I agree. If Freeman's been white hot too. It's like, why are you gonna like, you're like getting like the small dog out of the way to get to the big dog. It's like, why? Like, just get to the small dog, right? It's like, why are you gonna go to the Scotwire?
And you know what? That's the big thing about that lineup is that, whether it's Kiki, Teoscar, Shohei, it doesn't matter who you talk about. They're all dogs. Well, so who do you walk to get to who? Right? Because the next guy that comes up is probably going to hit.
You're damned if you do.
And that's really the thing that, it sucks. But hey, you know what? I'm never going to forget. The two things I'm never going to forget from this World Series were walking Mookie Betts to get that grand slam spanked out of the park. And then the most epic collapse. I think they said it was the worst or the greatest comeback in World Series history last night from 5-0 to 7-6 to win it and take it all home.
We didn't deserve it.
No,
that's what it is.
Blew my mind. Blew my mind all the way. All right, so moving right along.
Yeah, Jazz Chisholm is now selling that chain.
He better be. He better. He better sign up for a new position somewhere. He better.
Oh my God!
It's the hungry dog runs faster. The Dodgers did that. So
I've earned more having that World Series than fucking he has.
Fair.
Yo,
fair point.
Listen, I just looked down because I'm ready for Cove to throw out the next question, and I just looked down and saw it was, and I'm like, you already know my answer to this one. Bring it on, Cove.
Is it the MVP question?
Yeah.
You believe Freddie Freeman was deserving of this MVP?
Freddie Freeman is definitely the World Series MVP, bar none, hands down. Him or the I'm losing the word. Him or the bullpen.
Yeah,
right. I think it's Freddie Freeman or the three of us on World Series MVP.
Unbelievable. Just the guy played so good. Like I said, there's literally nothing I could take away from the Dodgers at this point. I want to talk mess, but I also, I have a bunch of guys, that are like my family online, and they're all Dodgers fans. And kudos to the guys. Yeah. It's one of those things. All right, so we got the last baseball question of the season right here.
Oh, fair. All right.
How do you think the Dodgers can continue their success in future seasons following this championship?
What do you think, Adam?
Look, keep doing what they're doing, right? When it broke, don't fix it. Look, from my
Don't
understanding,
change anything.
don't change anything, right? Exactly. It's something where it's like, you're coming in, you're going against the Padres. You're like that's a great team to beat to get to the Yankees. And again, like not to bring back the Yankees, but it's like we played way worse teams. Shout out to the Guardians and Royals fans out there. I'm sure both those fans, 2 of them, are very happy to hear their names said. But it's something where it's like, look, I think the Dodgers got to keep it moving. They're doing great. If you're hot, stay hot, right? And it's that's my take on it. I mean, I think they're an amazing.
I have
team.
every reason to believe they're going to be 100-win teams this season.
But it also shows you that 100-win team doesn't have to be a 100-win team to win the championship.
No, and listen, they could be an 80-win team and make it to if they make it to the playoffs with that team, they can win.
And everybody was saying that at the beginning of the season. At the end of the season, they're like, there was not one 100-win team in the entire season. I think it was the best 95 or 94.
Yeah, it was either Dodgers and Yankees, right there.
Yeah,
but I mean, there's really like, what do you change in that situation? All they have to do is get healthy and stay healthy, and but the reality is, even if
you
they don't
manage contracts, that's all you got to do. All the players want to be there.
Yeah,
everybody wants to be there. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Soto gets signed by the Dodgers.
They were talking about that. That was a discussion. Yeah, it's like. It's like the rich get richer, right? It's like if Soto goes to the Dodgers, it's like, okay, well, it's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Listen, I want to take a quick second to just shout out one of our sponsors. So as you guys know, W.com is one of our sponsors. Working out, and you need a pre-workout that's not too jittery, but will keep you moving. W is the way to go. So check out W.com. If you use the sports, I was about to say hashtag promo code with a Z on the end, you get 10% off your entire purchase. So that being said, let's move it right along to the NFL.
One thing before you get the NFL out was, I don't know if you saw about Freeman. He's the first Canadian nationalist who's going to be MVP.
Really?
Freeman? Wow. I didn't even know Freeman was Canadian.
Yeah. But the reason why I said nationalist is because he played for Team Canada. Other Canadians have won the MVP, but they never played for Team Canada.
Oh, okay. I like that.
So he's the first ever Canadian nationalist.
That's a good little fact. That's a good fact.
So everybody's winning. So, U.S. is winning, Canada's winning, everybody. Freddie Freeman's out there crushing it.
Everyone except for the Yankees. Actually, not just the Yankees. Most of New York, right? The Liberty might be our only championship, right? We'll see. Hopefully the Knicks get it together. I think they will.
Well, the only given championship, I should say.
Okay. Listen. All right. So what are we doing now? We got NFL. This is an interesting one, right? So jump right in. Question 1.
Texans at Jets. Will the Jets finally get back to the win column, or will the Texans capitalize on on their momentum?
So I want to point something out here. The Jets are actually favored in the sports books to win this game. Yeah. The Jets are -2. Why? And literally, because of the Diggs news and because of Nico Collins. But here's my thing, right? The Jets can't stop the run. They haven't been able to all season. And Joe Mixon's an absolute stud. I'm taking the Texans to win that game. I think that the Jets need to have a fire sale tomorrow. We'll see what they do, but I'm going Texans. I don't think that the Jets get it back on track. I think they've made all the wrong moves in trying to build a team around, a washed up Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I have the Texans for sure. I have no faith in the Jets. It's just not until they get another starting quarterback.
Oh, okay. Shots fired. I like that. Okay.
What do you think, Adam?
I think the Jets just fired their coach as well, right? He's out. Yeah. So it's like, okay. So the whole team's in shambles. It's a fire sale, like Vincent said. And I agree with Cove as well. It's like, look, get Aaron Rodgers out of there. I mean, look, hot take city, he's washed. Yeah. I mean, why is it surprising to anyone? Like I said before the season started, he won. We have never given someone so many accolades for winning one Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Right. It's like people are like,
yeah, he won four MVPs, but that doesn't mean anything.
Listen,
I don't know if Kobe is being sarcastic or not, but I mean, look, he won one Super Bowl. What did we do? 4 MVPs. Great. It matters about the rings. Here's the thing, right? The MVP thing is great, but I tell people this all the time.
30 years from now, people aren't going to say who won MVP in 2023. They're going to say who won the Super Bowl.
Right.
And it's going to be Pat Mahomes. That's going to right. And so I get the whole Rodgers thing, but Rodgers has not been playoff successful. He's been problematic as a locker room character, right? If he doesn't get his way, he causes a whole stink. Yeah. They brought in Devontae, didn't work. They got rid of Salah, didn't work. What's the next move? I heard this today on my guy Chris Canny again, right? They brought this up. Let's just say Jerry lets Mike McCarthy go. Do the Jets go get Mike McCarthy and bring him to New York? Like, is that the game plan? What are they doing?
I hope not.
No.
What is the idea here? I just don't like. At this point, you got to be like, all right, you know what? This guy is the wrong guy. We're trying to build something with a man who's in his 40s. No, that's like I get it. Tom Brady left the Patriots over the age of 40, went and won a Super Bowl the next year. Okay. Tom is like the closest thing to God on earth.
Tom Brady, though. Tom Brady's a freak. It's like
exactly. Tom's like he's like the son of Zeus. Like, I don't know what I mean. Like, he's just a different thing. And you can't take that and be like, okay, well, you know what? Why don't we go build an organization based on that same, they're hoping to see that Rodgers returns to like, when was his last MVP? 21, 22? It was only a couple of years ago, but they're hoping to see him get back to that form. And it's not even just that I don't think that he can. I don't think that he cares to.
Yeah, no, he does. You're right. And him being a bad locker room guy is a tough look too, right? It's like not even inspiring the folks. Like it feels like nobody wants to play with him. It's almost like a diva lead singer of a band, right? It's like no one wants to play with him, no one wants to hang with him. It's just like you're not inspiring. You gotta, as a quarterback, you're the leader of the team. People got to rally around you. Like everyone's got to, rising tides raise all boats. And Aaron Rodgers is not the guy for the Jets, obviously.
Yeah,
that's
but it's like that. It's like, here, Aaron, here's the playbook, and he's like,
yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah,
it's just like I don't know what you do with a guy like
dude. Like, read the fucking playbook.
Right.
Give me a second, guys. My daughter just woke up, so she may be making an appearance on camera. I'll be right back. But if you want to jump into the next question.
All right, what we got here? Oh, Cowboys at Falcons. Can the Falcons passing attack exploit the Cowboys secondary, or will Dak and company win this shootout?
All right, Cope. I'm going to let you go first in this, Cope. What do you think is going to happen?
I already know what's going to happen. Atlanta's going to come out firing. Dak is just waiting for playoff. He's waiting for playoffs to spend time with his family because he ain't making the playoffs this year.
I share this sentiment with Cove on this. Yeah, of course, man. There's no way. I mean, it's almost like the Jets Texas question all over again, right? So you're going to be cooked. It's like this is what it is.
Yeah, they're already
got the little one. Little one's on camera today.
Oh, adorable.
Hi, baby girl. She's gonna have a bottle, I think, right about now.
There you go.
Now, right? Okay. See, I multitask, Adam. I'm one of those guys,
You got the shit going over, stuff going over here. Excuse me. And,
I'll tell you guys. This is what I think happens. Cowboys, Falcons. This is like, I think the Cowboys surprisingly jump out to a lead. This is and then Kirk Cousins pulls a Kirk Cousins, and they just fall apart in the second half, and the Falcons win by like 2 touchdowns and a field goal. Like, they end up washing them, but it'll look like in the first quarter, it's going to look like, oh, maybe Dak's getting it together, and then the Cowboys are going to be the Cowboys.
Yeah, right. It was funny. COVID said before he goes, Dak's just waiting for the playoffs so he can just hang out with his family.
Listen, man. Honestly, that was one of the worst. Okay, giving that guy $60 million a year is going to turn into one of the worst moves by an organization in a long time, because they're going to end up like, right? Okay, so they're going to have to get rid of that coach, because they're not going to be able to bring in the right offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator to work with Mike. It's not going to happen at this point. Realistically, they should have gotten rid of him at the end of last season, and they should have put Dan Quinn. So, I don't know what that organization does.
The fact Mike McCarthy still has a job is mind-blowing to me. Here's the thing, right? And Jerry runs a business. They were winning 11 and 12 games up until this season. Right.
So why change it? You know, they're still bringing in my money. He's used to not winning championships. He doesn't care about that, obviously. Like he literally lets people tour the facility in the middle. You know, you got guests walking into the locker room when these guys are trying to get ready for practice. So, you know, the culture is just completely fucked over there. Pardon that language, but it's true. You know,
this happened just as a fun fact. Bob Costas just retired from the MLB.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, just happened 30 minutes ago. He will.
Breaking news here. We're trying to break some news here. Bob Costas retired.
Bob was like, listen, the Yankees are not going to win another title while I'm here, so I'm just retiring now. I'm not going to put myself through this anymore.
That's right. I thought the same thing. Yeah, I thought the same thing. Yeah, like he's like, I'm done with this, you know. So dude, Bob Costas, he got pink eye and retired. Is what happened.
Dude, and that's a broadcasting legend. You know what I mean? Like, doesn't get bigger than Bob. But you know, it's a new generation. So
the only thing that killed me, because I'll go back to MLB for a second. The only thing that killed me was they gave someone in the graphic designing world put decoy with the fucking title. That's Shohei's dog got a title before Aaron Judge.
That's fair. That's fair. That dog threw more pitches than Aaron Judge as well. So I mean, look, the dog's out there throwing pitches. I mean,
literally, I'd be okay. Like and I'll leave this. This is my last note for baseball. If the Yankees wanted to get rid of both Aarons this season, I wouldn't care.
Yeah,
I'll be honest, right?
Because Aaron Judge is low key old too.
Yeah.
He's like 30.
It just at this point, like, listen, somebody once I forget the exact quote, but like, right, you can have a bunch of star players that are amazing, this and that, but like at the end of the day, you're not winning. So if you're not winning, like realistically, everything that's there you could get rid of.
Right.
It doesn't. You already know it's not working. So
I mean, Aaron Judge is 32. We have him for what, like 6 more years or something like that. Like we're having like a fair amount of time after this, 6-8 more years. He's 32. It's like, I mean, as folks in this chat, we're all washed up over 32. So myself included, very much so. So it's like 32. It's like, dude, it's like, I don't know. It's tough. I wouldn't be mad if we got rid of him either. I mean, it would hurt season tickets. It would hurt jersey sales. You know, it's like, but actually, I'll retract that. We got to keep Aaron Judge. I'll retract this. I'm going to go back on this day. We got to keep Aaron Judge.
Listen.
So the next one is Dolphins at Bills. I'm going to reword this one just for fun. People are going to die this weekend against the Bills.
Okay, so you know what? I want to jump on that. I like the way that you changed it because when I read the question, I was like upset. No, he might not make it out of the game. I think that he literally might get concussed again during this game.
Over under 1.5.
You know, and I wouldn't because right, it's a division rivalry, right? And you know how teams play when they play in the division. They play meaner, angrier, tougher football. And there's every reason to believe that this guy gets hurt again.
Yeah, he refused to wear a freaking Guardians cap. Jesus, if I was my wife, I'd be like, "You're wearing that Guardians cap." I don't,
dude.
It's been a hot topic, that Guardian cap thing. I mean, I don't even know why.
They look so silly, but
it's like, dude, like this is like what, like 4 concussions. It's like, what are we doing here? Like, yeah, you're getting paid most of the money, right? It's like, and the Dolphins are not out there just trouncing people, right? It's like you guys are 5-2.
If
right?
you have
like,
a defense, like like to your point, if there was a defense on that team that was just shutting down the other team, right? And so you could say like, well, we can win this with doing minimal on the offensive side, but they can't. You know, this guy's got to go out. He's got to put his neck on the line. I mean, I think realistically, and I don't know how this works, but there should be like a conversation in the front office where they're like, you know what, like at this point, like what we're going to have to pay later for this guy because of the level of damage he's going to continue to sustain. Like we like he has to be forcibly retired.
Yeah, I agree.
It shouldn't even be the player's call.
How his wife and his family hasn't been like, yo, you're done. Like, I mean, like Vince, I know your wife and whoever Cove ends up marrying, his wife will definitely be like, get the hell out of this thing. You know, it's like, dude, it's like, what are you doing? You know?
Hey, I get that in my industry of my job by my ex-wife. She's always like, "Hey, like, because I'm working Halloween night tonight, right?" Like,
Ooh, spooky.
All the freaks, geeks, and weirdos are coming in tonight, Cove.
That's all three of us. So you guys pick who.
Dude.
It's a normal day when people are talking to themselves, so it's not any other day.
Dude, working like I used to work in a hospital. But luckily I was on a floor with I was on the cardiology floor, so I didn't see too much. But like being in the ER area, being anywhere close to like where it gets real on Halloween night, no way.
Oh yeah, no.
What's your point, Sophie?
Last night, I wasn't paying attention too much because there wasn't much going on. Also, over and I was like, "Holy shit!" That was my reaction. As a guy,
because Kobe, you messaged me and you're like, "We were just up 5-0," and I was like, "Yeah, it's 5-5 now, man." It's like I think ship pivoted or stuff pivoted. Excuse me.
But yeah, you're all right. You're all right.
His skull was cracked open. All right, this is gonna get interesting real quick,
dude. The hospital. It's honestly like people don't like. I have a huge amount of respect for like first responders in general, but like everyone who works in the hospital, like a lot of people just don't really understand how hectic it gets in acute care, ER, like in any of those ICU. It just the stuff that you see is like no way. Like,
I can't do it. Yeah.
I started in acute care. Okay. And like my first month, I was like, no way. I was like, I got to get transferred off this floor. I was like, where are like the old people? Like, I'll go be like a ray of sunshine, I can go smile and crack jokes, still love me. Right. And that's how I ended up on cardiology.
The older people with the critical care stuff, man, they are worse than anybody else. Like they are way off on that rails.
It's different. So, now kind of moving along, what do we think about this next game that's coming up here?
Broncos and Ravens. Will Lamar Jackson bounce back after a tough loss, which was a surprising loss?
Yeah.
Or will the Broncos defense stifle him?
Who's home?
They're in Baltimore.
Ooh, that changes things. That's a different discussion now. Yeah. Look, I think number one, my take is I think Derrick Henry's got to get utilized more on the Ravens. I think as well that Lamar Jackson bounces back into Broncos. Broncos are also kind of out there getting after it, but I think it's a Lamar Jackson situation.
I think that this game, okay, so offensively, it's not like they're playing bad per se, right? Or they did in the last game. Mm-hmm. I think this game is going to be more about their defense, kind of like the defense blew some big plays last week that let the Browns take that game. Mm-hmm. Bo Nix has been a leader and the Broncos have been doing their thing. They got 5 wins already? I mean, they're they appear to be a legit team right now under a rookie quarterback. I think that defense just has to get after the quarterback. And then to your point, I mean, when you have a guy like Henry, you just have to keep drilling it because he's going to break through at some point, He's big enough, tough enough, strong enough, and fit enough to just keep going until he makes that big run. And all of a sudden it goes from 20 yards rushing to 90 yards rushing in one play.
Right.
So that's going to be huge for sure.
Cool. What do you think?
But this is the Broncos. This is their first quarterback that they actually drafted in a long time. So it's different.
She agreed.
They're not taking somebody from another system. They got a new guy that they can mold around, and it shows right now.
Right.
Because I
would love to see that.
Last one that they had that was drafted.
It'll be a good game regardless, yeah. I think.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't expect there to be a blowout on either side. I mean, it should be close contention for sure. And what I was saying, what I would love to see is, it's going to be a couple seasons before we fully do, but I mean, the progression, and I'll tell you what, we haven't really seen, because of the churn and burn and the way that quarterbacks are not developed in the league like they used to be, we haven't seen a draft class perform as well as this one is, probably since Eli, Ben Roethlisberger, and Phil Rivers, realistically, right? Right now, Drake May is just starting to come into his own now that he's got the ball. I mean, Bo Nix is doing his thing, right? Caleb looks decent, and Jaden's playing out of his mind football.
Yeah,
you know,
I agree with that. Yeah, that's probably the best take I've heard so far on the show for sure. It's like that's a great take. Yeah,
but it will be interesting to see how he develops. He's just in a tough situation because everyone's got this. Well, this is our next John Elway. Mm-hmm. Like walking into a situation, whether you're getting developed or not, when they just put that crown on you, and they're like, all right. Listen, this guy, one of the greatest quarterbacks ever, you're our next him. Get to it. Here's the ball, And
it's
so
like the Derek Jeter. It's like the Derek Jeter Volpe situation. I'm done with Yankee stuff now. So I'm done with
Bro, dude, listen. My last little Yankee piece, I'll just say, is that I can't help it. But when they gave Aaron Judge the captain, I was like, whoa. Like, it's not like the Yankees don't crown a captain every year.
Yeah.
To do that 8 years after Jeter left, it was like, this guy has no choice but to perform. And you know what? Unfortunately, he's underperformed when it counts. So that's my take on that. Back to the NFL.
Next. This could be days for us talking about this. So, yeah.
Listen, Aaron Judge is never going to hear the end of it from me.
Yeah, fair.
Dylan Covey just got signed to the Mets.
Who?
The Mets are signing people already?
Yeah, they just signed Dylan Covey to a 1-year deal.
Dude, Cohen wastes no time.
I love it. I love that.
Series over. Start getting
the Mets. Sneaky dangerous. Mets are sneaky dangerous. Like they can come out and just be like out of the woodwork and just be like not even out of the woodwork. They were in the playoffs this year.
Yeah,
it's like
you're almost guaranteed.
So it's like bam. They're ready to fucking spend.
I love it.
What do you think? Like, do you think there's any chance in the world, especially after Soto's statements last night, that Juan Soto's manager didn't wake up and have an email from the Cohens, right?
Yes.
Like.
Yep.
Let's begin this conversation today.
Yes, absolutely.
Vince, it's not even a chance.
No, I think
the Dodgers might have done the same thing, but
I slid in there to play baseball in my backyard with them. I was like, "Yo, what a career for $400 million, and we'll play baseball in the backyard." But it's like, dude, the Cohen's out because there was a Mets discussion, there was a Dodgers discussion. I mean, it's open season right now, right for Soto. So,
and
the Mets have expressed interest. So.
Yeah, could happen.
So I don't know if you heard that one, but Jorge Soler was traded to the Angels.
I heard that. I did hear that. And that could be good for us. It could be good for us. So I'm excited. We'll see where it goes. All right. So listen, last MLB or NFL question that we've got. This goes to probably the toughest division, in my opinion, right now in football, the NFC North.
Mm-hmm.
Take it away, Cole.
Okay. Before that, I don't know if you guys seen this, but they had the Hallloween thing with the NFC North, and they had Kyler Murray. He was like down here. He was like tiny. They had him like this, this big. It was fucking hilarious. I'm like, why did they make him so small?
He's got to keep throwing to Marvin Harrison Jr. We'll be fine.
That's a fact.
But yeah, they had like a Scooby-Doo skit, and he was like, yay big. He was
Scooby.
But Lions and Packers. Can the Lions pull off the division upset, or Jordan Love and the Packers cruise the victory?
Wait a minute. Wait, a division upset? Are the Packers favored?
No, it's just that the Lions and Packers have a rivalry. So.
Okay. Number one, Lions win this thing hands down. I mean, the Lions are. I mean, as a Titans fan, admittedly, we had gotten roasted by like 40 points last week. And I'm not saying the Packers are much better than the Titans for sure. I mean, I think it's just a Pee Wee football team better than the Titans. But with that being said, yeah, I think they take the Packers hands down. I mean, I think the spread is probably what, 4 at least, 4.5. At least it's got to be over there.
Getting it up?
I'll look it up. I got you.
I was going to say I only got one hand here, guys.
I got you. Let's see.
This would be a game. I'll tell you what. This this is the kind of game where Jordan Love could silence a lot of critics. You know, he throws a lot of interceptions. He has a tough time out there. He's good, but he's not amazing. They're
at Lambeau too, so it's a different dynamic there when you're at Lambeau.
That's a fact. But the Lions are as tough as it comes right now. They might be the best team in football. I mean, Goff has propelled himself right into the MVP conversation this season.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You know, so I would be shocked if they dropped the ball here.
But it is a division because Detroit, Green Bay, and Minnesota are in the same division.
And so are the Bears, right? Is that the same?
And the Bears, yeah. And you know,
all the teams are playing great.
Yeah.
The Bears, their defense is top tier. You know, they've got some work on offense, but they're good. They're a solid team. You know,
I agree.
That's one of those divisions that like 3 teams could easily make the playoffs from in the NFC this year. The NFC is not that good right now.
It's not like the AFC South, you know.
The AFC South. Okay, now, like, what happened? You know, like, okay, so we know, right? The Bucks, right? So the Bucks had their obvious problems, right? The injuries now. I mean, Godwin and Evans both out. Baker is going to really have to figure it out.
You're talking about the AFC. When he's talking about the AFC South, you're talking about the NFC.
Oh, AFC South. Oh, I'm sorry, AFC South. I thought you said NFC.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about like
AFC South. That's even worse.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's terrible. So, even your daughter knows it's terrible. She's like making noise because it's so bad. It's you got the Titans. You got the Titans, Colts, Texans,
Trevor Lawrence and the boys. Jacksonville.
Yeah, it's like to go a little.
They're
over there.
Dude, Trevor Lawrence is atrocious. Like, I didn't think he was going to be great, but I'm surprised at how bad he is. Yeah,
that makes sense. Yeah. That's just like his 3rd season with the Jaguars, or 3rd or 4th season. He's been there for a minute.
Yeah, 21.
The Colts are AFC South too, aren't they?
Yeah, correct. Yep.
Oh my God. Okay, so before we jump off anything NFL, actually, this might be the last thing we need to talk about. Anthony Richardson. Okay, so
Flacco is in for Richardson for like the rest of
he literally asks to be taken out of the game, and he doesn't lie. He should have lied. He should have said his contact, anything. But he says, I'm tired, which, like, I mean,
that's crazy.
In layman's terms, that's like, I quit. You know, you just quit on your team. Now,
at least he just walked out, you know, and didn't say a word. You know,
well, like, but so here's my thing, right? I get it. He's young, you know, who knows where else he could go, whatever. But how could you ever expect another team of players to get behind this guy and walk on a field? Like, this guy may quit in the middle of our game.
Right. Yeah.
Right. I expect Bryce to quit before Anthony Richards.
Yo,
I expect
trade rumors. They're saying that the Giants could possibly deal for Bryce Young as an option, as a Band-Aid for the interim, because Danny just stinks.
Yeah,
but no, what are they expecting?
You guys need a cast an ace band.
Right. And what happens? You bring him in mid-season and you expect Daboll to do something with that? Like, what's the actual expectation there? It makes no sense.
You could bring in Brady and you guys are still cooked. I mean, same with the Titans. Bring him in and we're still cooked. Same thing. So it's like that's the breaks, right? But
it happens. It does happen. It's unfortunate, but it does happen sometimes. All right. So listen, you know, we talked a lot about football. Now I know NHL is not your strong suit, but we were just chopping up a little bit on NHL, and I wanted to run through those questions. So let's make sure we hit up this NHL stuff because, you know,
I'll do the best I can, folks. Let's try.
I love this hockey stuff. All right, so
I think you're on the Panthers and the Rangers, but Stars and Jets being the top 2 teams in the league right now in the Western Conference, with both teams off to a hot start. Which squad's physicality, gritty style will win out in the season between the both teams?
I think the Jets are going to cool down a little bit, but they really do have. I mean, their team's pretty ridiculous. It's tough, you know. The West is so strong right now. You know, I don't know. I mean, realistically, they could be the teams playing for the Western Conference Final easily.
Oh yeah, that's why I said playoff potential, right? These two teams seem to be two teams that should be playing.
But
I agree with Vince. That's all this in the whole time. I agree with Vince. I think he's right.
Here's what I think. I think that if the Golden Knights stay healthy, I think one of those teams gets knocked out by the Golden Knights and doesn't make it as far as they should. That's what I think. I think the Golden Knights are a perennial playoff team. They've already showed how tough they are, and they're going to continue to run with it. That's just my opinion. But
that's what I'm thinking too. Yeah.
So yeah, the double into the next one is Jets versus Knights. Will the Winnipeg be able to put up the ultimate test against Vegas with that star-studded lineup?
Well, right. The Jets are going to be favored, I would say. They're coming into T-Mobile, I believe, right? This is a Golden Knights home game.
No, this is just team versus team. I don't know the schedule.
Okay. I was going to say, well, here, I mean, listen, Vegas is as tough as it comes in hockey right now. They can beat anybody on any night, but as we just saw against the LA Kings yesterday, they could also lose to any team on any night. So, it's hard to say. But again, I think that the Golden Knights are going to be one of the teams in the Western Conference Final. Mm-hmm. That's a prediction for me. It might be them against the Jets.
I want to hear Cove's take. Cove, what do you think?
See, the Jets are 9-1. Dallas and the Knights are 7-3. So. Okay.
So which way are you going? You're saying stats at me right now. Where should you go with this matchup?
I feel like right now it's going to be the Jets. Just right now.
That's what I thought too. Yep, agreed.
The Golden Knights tend to be a late season on a win streak, and the Jets will just cool off a little bit.
Right.
But the interesting part about NHL is by the end of this month, well, basically it's almost November, but by the end of November, the playoffs have already set in the NHL. It's one of those leagues that by the end of November, we know what 16 teams are going to go.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
It's a known fact that by November 28th, always by Thanksgiving, they always know 90% of the playoff teams already.
Is it because like the win-loss differential?
No, has nothing to do with that. It's just that's how it statistically always happens. Whoever's usually number one stays number one. They just
I didn't know. Okay,
stay the par. You know what I mean? You get the odd team like Edmonton last year who won 16 in a row.
Okay,
to the playoffs. Like you get the All-Star rush, whatever, but that's about it. One or two teams are kind of into the playoffs, but the other 14 teams have already been set themselves in there.
Wow. Okay. I don't know that.
And that's how I know my Islanders are already cooked because they already have 3 wins on the season and that's it. But I think they're 3-3-2 so far on the season, which is definitely not good.
I mean,
Rangers fans, so I hope it goes well.
7-2. So
the Rangers, listen, man, the Rangers are as good as it gets. They might have the best defense in hockey right now. The thing for the Rangers is can they get past the Panthers?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's anybody get past the Panthers right now. Really, statistically. They put out the Bruins and they put out the Rangers and they put out Tampa Bay. Like they put out the 3 top teams in the Eastern Conference every year. So the Panthers,
Carolina, the Rangers and the Panthers, they'll be the top 3, right? You know who fell off pretty hard after their little kind of dynasty, almost you could call it. Tampa Bay.
Oh, I was going to say Pittsburgh, but yeah, Tampa Bay is interesting. That's let's not speculate on the coke habit, but it kind of had a factor in it.
Well, all right. Listen, I think we got one more question here, and then I want to give a quick shout out to our last sponsor before we head out of here today, guys.
So the last one is Rangers versus Stars being.
Let's go Rangers.
Rangers versus Stars. The Rangers red hot goaltender Igor Shesterkin shut down Dallas's balanced attack, or the Stars' scoring depth be too much to handle.
I mean, honestly, especially during the regular season, I think the Rangers are right now. The Rangers are a tough team to play, as tough as it gets. I think that
MSG is one of the hardest places to win.
That's what they say, and Igor Shesterkin is just playing out of his mind hockey right now. You know, he's letting up maybe 2.3 goals a game, give or take. You know, and the Rangers score more than 3 goals a game almost every time. So, you know, it's just going to be like if Dallas can pull something out of their hat, they're good. But are they Rangers good? I don't know.
Jake Ottinger is one. Ottinger is one of the best goalies in the league, so it's hard to pass him. But with Shesterkin and as you were talking about Tampa, both those boys are big. They're not just like good goalies; they are huge.
Yeah, Igor's a big guy. He covers that net.
Of a hockey player, like an actual hockey player, but both our goalies are 6'5", 275. They're like Aaron Judge kind of big.
I was gonna say I have a question about hockey as a complete amateur of understanding this. Like, how come they don't get goalies that are just like 6'8", like 280? Like, how come this is not a thing?
It's for the movements. It's you want smaller stature goalie so he can move quicker.
Okay.
In the 90s, all the goalies were like 6'2", 180 kind of thing. Smaller, they can move faster. But the game has got faster, and now the goalies have gotten bigger.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I was like, if you guys got like Jack in there, you know, it's like, yeah, it's like guy's a monster. It's like guy's 7'1", 320 pounds. You know, so that's
move. He's got to be able to move.
I agree. That's why I'm asking. You're totally right.
That's why
everybody was shocked
when Carey Price decided to retire, and he's not playing at all, and they're paying his contract till 2026 because he had the Oates surgery, which he took one kneecap and put on the other kneecap.
The Tommy John of hockey. That's the Tommy John surgery of hockey. It sounds like
the Tommy John of hockey. That's a fact.
Right? If you can't move your knees, you're horrible at hockey.
If you can't move your knees, you're horrible at life. I'm happy I can move both mine for the most part. But here she goes.
All right. Well, listen, fellas, that's all we got this week. I just want to give a quick shout out to our last sponsor, MyBookie. Again, mybookie.com. They are a great sponsor, and they're great if you're into sports betting. Jump on mybookie.com. They will match your bets up to $1,000. So you can definitely make your money back with that. The promo code there is We Like Sports, sports with the Z on the end. And listen, guys, that's all we got. Thank you guys for jumping in with me today. Sophie, say bye to everybody. Happy Halloween, guys.
Adorable. Have a good one. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And stream.
Yeah, he's slow and shutting it down.
What's that?
Yeah, dude, I'm like